Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. This week we are going to be taking a better look at the cast iron pizza. Now once again, the standard go-to dough I use is 1/4 teaspoon of dry active yeast, a teaspoon of sugar, half a cup of warm water, 1 to 1.5 cups of flour. Now you can use all-purpose or you can use bread, and half a teaspoon of salt. Now with most yeast recipes you want to start by blooming your yeast. Simply to do this, place the yeast, the water and the sugar in a bowl and then just wait for the yeast to become active. It should come slightly frothy on top. Now once your yeast has bloomed and you have proof that your yeast is actually alive, mix in the flour and salt and then stir to combine into a shaggy dough. Now it was around this point I got really confused as to why my dough was so wet, and I completely forgot that I doubled all of the rest of the ingredients apart from the flour. So if you are going to double this either for a second pizza or to make dough balls or something, don't forget to double the flour as well. Now once your brain has kicked back in and you have your dough, you want to knead it until it's nice and smooth. And it should also be springy when you poke it. And then simply place it in a oiled bowl and give the dough a quick coating in the oil, or if you're lazy like me, just roll it around in the bowl, this works too. Now whilst your dough is proofing, we can make the sauce. Now I want to take this moment to give a shout out to my camera's autofocus for totally butchering this clip for me. But anyway, simply take a can of your favourite crushed tomatoes or any type of canned tomatoes. The higher the quality the better. And then tear in some fresh basil, some oregano, optionally a dash of chili flakes and some salt and pepper. Now if your tomatoes are kind of bitter, as we are not cooking this sauce through, you can optionally add in a bit of sugar just to help reduce the bitterness. And then simply mix this all together and let chill in the fridge. This is going to help to let the flavours infuse and to rehydrate some of the dry ingredients. Now once your dough has roughly doubled in size and proofed, you can drizzle some oil in the bottom of your cast iron pan, just simply enough to coat the bottom of the pan. This is an additional step to help the dough not stick to the pan at the end. And then if you are using double the ingredients, cut your dough in half and knock it back. If not, just knock the dough back. On top of this, you can also season your pan. And by that, I simply mean adding some seasonings to the bottom of your pan. Now you can use some dried herbs, dried chili flakes, salt and pepper, or you can just leave it with just the oil. Or optionally, you can use flavoured oil just for that extra kick. And all this is going to do is give the bottom of your dough a really nice extra flavour. As of course, whilst you're eating pizza, that's the part that hits your tongue first, so why not make it taste good? Now next comes the fun part, trying to stretch your dough to cover the bottom of the pan. Now if you have problems with this, you can always leave it for a few minutes and let the gluten in the dough relax a little bit, and then it should form to the bottom of the pan a lot easier. Once you have your dough stretched over the bottom of the pan, simply leave it to 20 or 30 minutes and this should just help the dough puff up a little bit before we start cooking. Now once your dough has slightly risen, simply spoon over the sauce. Now this is being cooked in a pan, so you can go completely edge to edge on this pizza without the fear of anything falling off the pizza and burning at the bottom of your oven. And then additionally, on top of the sauce, you can top with some extra basil leaf, just for a bit of extra flavour. Now you want to start cooking the pizza base on the hob over a medium-low heat just until the dough starts to firm up slightly, and then you can start adding your toppings. And now for your cheese. You want to use something kind of low moisture, otherwise you're going to end up with a soggy base, as we are cooking this quickly in the oven, so any moisture is going to cook out of the cheese pretty quick. Now once again, you can go completely edge to edge with this pizza, and the best thing about putting the cheese around the edge is you end up with a really nice crispy cheese crust. You don't end up with a bland pizza crust. Now if you are going to be using meats on your pizza, you want to make sure you are using pre-cooked meats, as once again this pizza is not going to be cooked for long, and this works best with thinly sliced toppings. Now I went for quite a meaty topping on this pizza, and I guess Pizza Hut holds the trademark for meat lovers pizza, so I like to call this one the Vegetarian's Despair. Now I used some leftover cooked diced chicken, some ham strips, some jalapeno and some pepperoni. Now I like my pepperoni well cooked and a little crisp on the edges, so I put this on top so it went on last, so that gets the majority of the direct heat from the oven. When you can lift your dough from the bottom of the pan and see a slight hint of colour, place the pizza in the oven under the grill/broiler, depending on where you come from. Now you just want to do this for a few minutes until the cheese is melted and the topping is to your liking. Now once cooked, remove from the pan and admire all of that crispy cheese around the outside, and then simply divide and devour your work of art. Now there is a few things I would love to try with this pizza, including trying to do a stuffed crust version. I'm not sure how that one would turn out, but perhaps in a couple of weeks I may try and work out how to do that and come back to you with that recipe. I'm going to play with that idea for a little bit and see how it goes. But that does it for this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, let me know down below, maybe even with a like and a comment, and I will see you guys all again next week. Thanks for watching.